What's up, Saab fans around the world, and welcome back to another video. Today it's time for a brake upgrade, so we're going for bigger brakes on the Saab 95 NG. So as it is right now, it has the stock 296 millimeter brake discs and single piston calipers. So we are going to upgrade to this Turbo6 337 millimeter brake discs and dual piston calipers. So this is quite an upgrade. I got this kit for dirt cheap in my opinion. There are still left some of the brake pads as well, and the discs has just been laying around where there has been some moist. So they are a little bit rusty, but all of that we are going to take care of. Grind them off, put on some fresh paint, and then we're going to install it on the car with some new brake pads. And hopefully this will be a really nice upgrade. So this disc right here is probably the worst one. And it just has some rust on the surface, so we're just slightly gonna like sand or grind this off. And it has a very minor edge around the disc, so we're just gonna grind that off as well. So these discs are not wear down at all, and the calipers seems to be in really good condition, even though it's just a little dusty and a little bit of surface rust as well. So we're just gonna grind these off, and they are pretty big. It's the first time I'm gonna install a dual piston caliper, so that will be quite interesting. The install is the same and the caliper is huge. So the other option that a lot of Saab 95 NG owner go for is the 4-piston Brembo upgrade, which I have been looked into as well. And you can get the kit for the Insignia VXR. Then you will have the same kit that are available for Saabs, but for a very good price. But this kit right here I paid around $100 for. So in my opinion it's no money at all for this amount of upgrade. So when we are done with just fixing this with the paint and everything, they're gonna look mint and really fresh. So just let's get started and grind this off. In the air on the jack stands, and this is the smallest brakes you can get on a 95 NG, as I said before. two 96mm brake discs. So the first thing we're gonna do is remove the bolt-on spacers and then remove the caliper. We will let the lines be attached. Just put the caliper to the side, then remove the disc, mount the new disc, then on with the new caliper. Then we will transfer the lines and bleed the new brakes. So here we have the brake discs painted and fresh. Also the calipers and the carriers. And here we have the new pads. Some UK quality. Triple award winning, that sounds fancy. But less brake dust. I've run this before, but it was like 8 years ago maybe, and it was for a 9.5 Aero, and it worked out quite nice. So now we're gonna try it again. Looks really good, and this is such a huge brake pad. So together with the dual caliper, dual piston caliper, I think this would be really good stopping power. So now everything is off, and now the thing comes to the brake shield. I got the brake shield for the bigger discs, but to mount this on you need to remove the bearing and the wheel bearing on the 9.5 MG. I have been told that you need to have like an hydraulic press to get them out. You can't just hammer them out, and to risk them to be screwed, I won't do that. So this time around I'm just gonna cut this and turn the edges up, so we still got the back support or the dust protection, but we don't have the outer edge. But it's not a big deal. On previous cars, 9.5 OGs, this always super rotten, super rusty. In those cases I have just cut it away. So this is some middle solution. Keep it but modify it. So this will be the easiest one and not risk damaging anything else. Now it's time to bleed the brakes, and the only air that's in the system right now will be in the calipers, since the caliper, one of the caliper had some brake fluid in it and the other one was, I don't know, it's not empty, but it didn't had as much. So the first thing I'm doing is loading up an just simple old oil can with some .4 brake fluid, and I will push it into the caliper, and I will keep my eye on the reservoir so it don't overspill. But in this case this would push all the air out the other way, so I will do this at first. Then I got this vacuum piece of equipment to just suck out all the air if there is anything left, or you can do by the old method. If you are two people, that one sits in the car, one opens the valve and the other one pushes the brakes, and the other one is open and close until all the air is bled out. So since I'm by myself in the garage, I'm doing it this way, and there are several other ways as well, but this one works really good for me. So I will start with filling up the brake caliper, and then we will see if we need to bleed it some more.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
So as you can see, the brake reservoir is topped off, so it's over full. It's not overspilled but over full. The max level is somewhere around here, so we need to suck out a little bit of it and then it will be good to go. So when we are done bleeding the brakes, we just fill up the reservoir to the, not really the max, but somewhere in between minimum and maximum level of brake fluid. Now that is quite an upgrade. And look at the details. Red stuff, red springs. Oops. But anyways, quite an upgrade, and the car was feeling a little wobbly at higher speeds with these old brake discs, and when I looked into them, they weren't that nice. You can see it's quite an edge on the inside, and on the pads they are like grooved. And they started to squeak a little bit when I backed up the car, which is not premium and nothing you want. So after you have bled the brakes and filled up the reservoir, when you push the brake it should feel just numb. It shouldn't go anywhere, it's just press down a little bit, then it should go completely numb. Then you have got it completely correct. It should not feel like soggy and just slowly go to the ground. It just go down fast and stop. Pure and simple. So it's gonna take a little while to break in these pads together with the used rotors, but the rotors were in pretty good condition. So there might be some squeaking noises and stuff like that in the break-in period, but when they are completely done and broken in, they will feel just as new. So I think this is a really good upgrade, and this is a big car. This is like a 2-ton car, so this needs quite some heavy brakes, absolutely in the front where the most of the tension is. So we will put on the wheel and take it out for a spin. Get the car out to a more suitable road where there are some straights and not that much traffic. Then we're gonna do some break-ins from like 120 and down. So to break them in, you just pretty much stomp the brake pedal at like 120, release it for a little bit, then go on it again and do that a couple of times. Should just be a little bit careful in the beginning, just go slow and feel it out so everything feels okay. And also right now it feels okay, but it needs to break in a little bit before you can stomp it for real. Just as of right now, it feels like a whole nother level of stopping power. And I had some small vibrations when I got up to like 110 and 120. Can't really feel that right now. So hopefully it did something good. Oh, so much better, so much better. And this is just the beginning. And I didn't even push hard right there. We are going to have to overtake this Volvo right here. As soon as we get the chance. still a little bit of vibration in higher speeds, so I think for sure it's the wheel alignment that needs to be corrected just a tiny bit. The steering wheel is not crooked or anything, but the angles on the wheels might be a little bit off. The handling of this car is insane with better brakes, and together with the coilovers, the spacers for the wide stance, and this big car, it just so much performance. This feels really promising. And the weather is beautiful today. Even though the car is super low and the tires are really close to the fenders, it's just such a good fitment. You can see here we have some bumpy country roads and the wheels are not rubbing a bit. You could just push it through the bends like nothing. Such an amazing car. And the missing part was definitely the brakes, because the old ones were very small and didn't do the job at all. So and you see how stable the car is. It's not much I need to hold in the steering wheel to make it go just straight when I brake. That means we did a good job bleeding the brakes, so they are, the power or the braking force are evenly distributed. Oh, so good braking power. Just have a quick look at the brakes. Feels a little bit hot, and that's okay. going to be perfect. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you really enjoyed it, and my suggestion is that you go subscribe to the channel, click on the notification bell so you don't miss any new content, and there is so much more exciting content to come. So just stay tuned to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!